Have you ever cooked a turkey with dry breast meat? I know I have, and it drove me crazy until I found the solution. The problem with turkey is that it cooks really unevenly. It's basically a giant meat sphere with all these appendages sticking out. As a result, the thigh meat cooks a lot slower than the breast meat, so to get the thigh meat to that safe temperature zone, we often overcook the breast meat. It's like that scene from Christmas Vacation where Chevy Chase cuts open the turkey and it puffs out with all this dust because the breast is so dry. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be the hero of the show. So there's a few solutions to this, the most popular being the spatchcocking method, where you cut out the spine of the turkey, lay it flat so it cooks more evenly. But then you don't get that traditional whole turkey that you can carve right at the dinner table and everyone's like, oh my God, how did you get it so juicy? It's so amazing. And you're like, I had a little help from a friend. The first question that people usually have when cooking a turkey is, do I need to brine it? It's super important to make sure your turkey is brined because that's going to ensure it comes out nice and tender and moist. If your turkey bag says that it's been brined or seasoned, or it says X% salt solution or anything like that, that means it's already been pre-brined. If in doubt, you want to look at the ingredients list on the back of the turkey package, and the third ingredient should be salt. It should be like turkey protein, water, salt. That means it's been pre-brined. If your turkey has not been brined, then here's my very simple turkey brine recipe. You just take 1 cup of coarse grain kosher salt, mix it with 1 gallon or 16 cups of water. You brine the turkey overnight in a large bucket in the fridge for 12 hours. Then take it out of the brine, rinse it off with cold water, and your turkey is good to go. Prepping your turkey. We wanna make sure our turkey skin is very dry in order to get it crispy. So the first thing we're gonna do is pat it down with some paper towel, or you can use a clean rag. Now we wanna add some fat to the outside of the skin to help crisp it up. A lot of people use butter. I don't use butter because it has a lot of water content in it. So I use olive oil because it has no water in it, and that is gonna help crisp the skin up a lot. So we'll just brush on some olive oil, very thin layer. We don't need a lot of it. Just make sure you get the breast area, make sure you get the legs, go around to the back and get some of the back, and then you're done. Now for our turkey rub, I developed a rub specially for turkey. It's got very little salt in it because we already pre-brined the turkey, so we don't want to over-salt it. So it's got barely any salt in it. It's got some other stuff to add some color, like paprika. It's got some turmeric in it. It's got some poultry seasoning and rosemary. It's really good stuff. The description section has that recipe, so go check it out if you want to make your own. And as we're applying it, we're just starting off with the back first. Get a little thin layer there, flip it over, and then we'll get the breast, cover that nicely. Not too much rub, and then we want to get under the wings, under the thighs, make sure it is nice and evenly coated. That looks great. All right, guys, now let's talk about my secret cooking method. So the problem is that the thigh meat rises in temperature a lot slower than the breast meat. And to top it all off, that thigh meat needs to get to a higher temperature, let's say 170. Some people like to cook it up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit in order to start rendering down all of the tough meat and the connective tissues in those hard-working thigh muscles. Meanwhile, the breast meat is rising in temperature a lot faster than the thigh meat, and the breast meat is finished at a much lower temperature in order to get it at its maximum, juiciest, perfect consistency. And that temperature is around 157 to 159 degrees Fahrenheit. We want to take it off the smoker at that point because carryover cooking is going to cook it up to around 165 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around the perfect temperature zone for breast meat. So how do we get the thigh meat to finish at around 170? Well, the breast meat finishes at 158. The secret is this little piece of turkey breast armor that I've made. This is gonna protect the turkey breast from the heat of the smoker, and it's going to make the breast cook a lot slower than the thigh meat for the first portion of the cook, so that we can even out those temperature zones and make them finish at exactly the right temperatures that we want. I made this turkey breast armor with some heavy duty tin foil. We wanna do 2 layers, so we form the 2 layers over top of the turkey breast, get a nice form. Then we peel back one of the layers and we take a damp cloth and we put it in between those 2 pieces. We sandwich it in between the 2 layers of tin foil, and then we crimp up the sides to keep everything together. Then we put it in the freezer and we're gonna let it freeze. So we're basically making a tinfoil set of armor that is a little bit colder because it's gonna have a frozen rag in the middle that is going to protect that breast even more and make it finish at the right temperature. So I just took this turkey breast armor out of the freezer. It was in there for about 30 minutes, and now I'm going to place it on top. Fits perfectly. So we're gonna leave this on during the cooking process for 45 minutes. to give the thighs a chance to cook up and come up a little bit in temperature while keeping the temperature of the breast down. And then after that 45-minute period, I'm gonna take this piece of armor off, and then the breast meat and the thigh meat is going to rise at approximately the same temperature, so everything is evened out. And that's basically the secret, guys. Turkey breast armor. All right, let's get this turkey to the battlefield. Smoking your turkey. Now guys, I'm preheating my Oklahoma Joes for 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Throughout this cook, I am going to try to target 275 to 300. I wanna get it up there in temperature because I want that skin to be nice and crispy. If I go down to 250, 225, that skin is gonna be rubbery and it's not gonna crisp up the way I want it to. I'm getting this firebox started with my grill gun, which makes it super easy. I don't have to mess around with a chimney starter or anything like that. If you guys want one of these things, I'll link it below. You get 10% off if you use my discount code. I'm running some lump charcoal. I just get that screaming hot, get a nice bed down, and then I throw a couple chunks of apple wood on it to get the smoke going and also to get those temperatures up. Now I'm gonna put the turkey on the Oklahoma Joes with the legs towards the firebox. We want those legs to absorb all that heat and keep the breast protected away from the firebox. I'm using my meter probe to monitor the temperature of the breast meat during this cook. I put it right under the breast, and this thing is awesome because there's no wires at all. I get all the temps directly on my phone, and it actually graphs out the temperature throughout the entire cook so I can look back and see if anything went wrong and how good I did at maintaining temperatures on the Oklahoma Joes. Usually I look back at the temperature graph and I think, oh man, I really suck at fire management. But that's the great thing about it because you can see all that data and you can improve. The meter is a game changer if you own an Oklahoma Joes because it doesn't just take the internal temperature of the meat, the other side of the meter actually takes the ambient cooking temperature of the chamber. This is awesome because the dome thermometer can give you temps that are a lot different than the grate level. So this tells you exactly what the cooking temperature is right at the level of the turkey, exactly where you want to measure the temperature. So this is a great thermometer for any barbecue, but particularly for the Oklahoma Joes, and it's super simple to use without all the wires and the guesswork. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and buy one. I do get an affiliate commission from that. After about 45 minutes, I'm gonna open up the Oklahoma Joes, take a look at the turkey, and I'm gonna do some temp checks. I'll check it in the thickest part of the thigh and the breast. And it looks like that turkey armor has done its job because the breast meat is now equalized with the thigh meat. So I'm gonna remove that turkey armor now, and then I'll close up the Oklahoma Joes and let it keep cooking. At the 2-hour mark, I'm gonna open up the Oklahoma Joes again. I'm gonna spritz it and I'm gonna change the probe location and rotate the turkey around so the breast side is now facing the fire. This is really important, guys. The Oklahoma Joes, as you probably know, is an offset smoker that has indirect heat coming out of the firebox. The fire and heat is coming from one direction. It's like trying to cook your food with a blow dryer by shooting hot air at it. So as a result, we want to rotate the turkey so that it cooks more evenly. I rotated it once at the 2-hour mark, and then I actually rotated it again at the 3-hour mark. This turkey finished in 4 hours. Around the 3-hour mark, when the turkey hit around 145 degrees Fahrenheit, I started to glaze it with my glaze. What I did for the glaze is I took some Cosmos Q apple habanero rib glaze. I mixed it with a little bit of honey on the stove, stirred it together, heated it up. Then I glazed it all over the turkey and I just let it ride for the remaining hour. This is gonna add a ton of flavor to your turkey. It's gonna elevate that turkey skin to the next level because you got a layer of smoke, you got a layer of crispy skin, and you have that nice sweet turkey glaze. So don't skip this step because it really makes your turkey taste awesome. Now to finish the turkey, I'm gonna probe in the breast and make sure I'm getting around 158 to 160. As soon as it hits that temperature, that's when I wanna pull it off the cooker. But first, I'm gonna probe around the thighs to make sure I'm not getting any super low readings or anything like that, and I have to make an adjustment. We want to remove that turkey at around 158 to 160 because carryover cooking is going to keep increasing the temperature until it hits around 164 to 165, which is the perfect temperature for turkey breast. All right, guys, so we've let this turkey rest for 20 minutes now, and it was a tough cook. Let me tell you, the meter probe really helped out, but I found that the real trick was to move the turkey around, feet towards the fire, feet away from the fire, rotate it every hour and a half or so, and that is what really helped me evenly cook the turkey. Because when you have all of the heat coming from the firebox hitting one side of the turkey, this side is really cold, so you actually have to twist it around quite a bit. So keep that in mind. I did find that the trick I told you at the beginning of this video helped out a lot as well. It helped the bird cook a lot more evenly, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Also, the little foil trick with putting the foil on the tip of that smaller piece of meat on the breast. That really helped this breast cook a lot more evenly. So you kind of have to watch this and adjust during the cooking process. Anything you cook on the Oklahoma Joe's is always a challenge. It's obviously not like throwing something in your oven and setting it and forgetting it. So these tricks will help you cook a nice juicy bird. So now let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna use my Edge of Belgravia bread cutter to slice into the breast here. I'm just gonna do a nice thick cut right off the breast. Now I'm going to take a slice of this guy here. Look at that. Look at that bark. That's amazing. Whoa. And we'll see how this bad boy tastes. The skin pulls apart right away. It's nice and crispy. It's not rubbery at all. It's very sweet from that glaze that we did. You get the rosemary and the poultry seasoning. It tastes very turkey-like and Thanksgiving dinner-like, or even Christmas dinner, and it has an awesome smoky flavor. The breast is very tender. It's got a lot of moisture left in it. It's a perfect turkey, guys. And if you guys want to check out a different method of cooking turkey, I'll link a couple of my turkey videos up in the left and right of the screen, so you guys can check that out as well. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video.